Hi, this is Podcast.Center. This is Neil Hanwad, CEO, founder, and president of titles.news. We're just going to get right into it. If it's your first time to the site, welcome. We're just going to go over some basic things. Over here, we have the date, 5 keywords featuring 47 different news sources from around the world. Here, we have our counter. Even if there is a high level of interest, the number of articles written will reflect the level of frenzy that the media is trying to stir. More articles have been written about Joe, Kamala, and Donald. Now, so in this case, Vice President Pence is, politically speaking, as important as anybody else in this election. This just shows, though, what the media does to Mike Pence. If it was even and fair, it would be a matter of daily coverage, no matter what, for a vice president. If Mike Pence hasn't done anything crazy enough, they won't write about him. But if it's something bad, they're sure to write about him. These keywords, which are also the topics, are the headlines on titles.news. This article's headline says, Russians have ceased to hope anything good will come out of America, regardless of who is president. Now, anything good to come out of America. Anything good. Now, that's a bit much. That's a bit of a stretch of a statement. But if you know anything about the Russian telegraph, it's actually controlled by the Russian government. When you see something exaggerated like this, you have to think that this is meant to benefit somebody else. It's meant to shame or ridicule America in this case. You do have to think about how this is a perspective that a majority of Russians solely get. Not to say that there aren't other Russian news sources out there or any other news sources that Russian people read, but as a majority, this is the exposure that they get to us. If you read this paragraph right here, belief in the essential malice of the Russian Federation is now widespread in America. This is particularly true among members of the Democratic Party, but Republicans are not immune and in any case feel a need to prove themselves even more anti-Russian than the Democrats in order to stave off charges of being in the pay of the Kremlin. The result is that Russia has now become a toxic brand, precluding any efforts by either major American political party to repair relations. Now, this definitely, from a Russian perspective, makes it look like Russia can do absolutely nothing wrong. I mean, here it says that Americans are enforcing malice and that we are creating a toxic brand. We have no purposeful hate to Russia. If anything, it would be aggravated off of the events of more than likely the Cold War. But it's not because they look a certain way, for sure. This makes it seem like there's a blind faith that if it's not pro-Russian, then you must be on the other side. It's one thing that you can say that in America because of the way our government is constructed. It's constructed in a way where nationalism and patriotism is a functional piece of our government. But in Russia, it never has been, and it if they wanted to make it, they wouldn't even know how to do it. This article right here, the headline is, Did Donald Trump Make America Great Again? Now, for those of you who don't know, the Financial Post is very much so like the Wall Street Journal for Canada. It is a extremely credible source of Now, the headline here, did Donald Trump make America great again? The reason I'm pointing this out is that it's so explicitly obvious, not only the side that this article is taking, but in the past 4 years, regardless of what side you're on, we can maybe agree that the success hasn't been linear. It's not like the wall has been a great success. Some of the original promises that Donald Trump made, they weren't clear. It's not to say that overall he's not on a certain track. And still today is election day before the results, so we don't really know anything about what is to come. But did Donald Trump make America great again? At this point, this article is dated November 2nd. This is a matter of one single day before the election. It's just too late to talk about this. And it shows that the Financial Post definitely leans anti-Trump, because you're putting into question something that people can in their heads form their opinion and move on. It creates less of a need to read this article. Last article by the Huffington Post. The headline reads, "Donald Trump is a down ballot burden, even in districts he won." So now again, this headline, Donald Trump is a down ballot burden. I want to say it's an exaggeration, because if you're saying he's a down ballot burden, first of all, he is the existing sitting president. A down ballot burden would be like, it's not my political affiliation that makes me want to say this, but Kanye West is a down ballot burden. It's not that I don't agree with his political views. It's that in the political process, he's been a burden. You cannot really, Trump is a burden to a lot of people, but you can't say in the voting process now that he's a down ballot burden, because anything to do with voter fraud has been disproved. So at this point, this is dated November 1st. Way too late to the whole debate is between, or this whole election and fight is between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. One of them is going to bring the other one down. The news and the media but they lack a level of moral responsibility. And this is a great example of that, where regardless of the current state of politics in this country today, the news will irresponsibly create more divide by weighing or adding weight to one candidate in an uneven manner that makes it look like the other candidate is not doing what the exact other candidate is doing. So in this case, is Joe Biden a down ballot burden?